Hello, it's the Sinister Gambino here with a new video. And in this video, I'll be doing an introduction of my contact mission series aside from the two bonus parts that I've already done. So, to start off, we're going to go into the specific missions later, but since this is the first major part, I'm going to go over how the missions work. So, of course, when you rank up higher, you unlock more missions, and as you go through those higher rank required missions, you will gain the most money in RP possible. And as of the title update 1.16, the way that the missions pay out have been changed since their introduction. Normally it was like a flat rate of what you would get depending on your difficulty, but now you get paid based on the amount of time you spend on a mission. So with that you need to play for that maximum time in order to get the maximum payout possible. That's unfortunately really the only way that you can do so. And the minimum payout on hard difficulty appears to start at 18,300 for a rank 5 mission, and apparently the pay increases $60 per rank up to rank 81, where it finally ends off at $22,860. Not sure what that mission is, but we'll probably find out throughout the whole series that I do. And then the base payout basically is, of course, when you play it as yourself for the maximum duration.
Interesting. Well done.
For 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, you'll be getting 12.5% of the maximum pay, 25% for 2 to 3 minutes, 3 to 4 for 37.5%, 4 to 6, 50%, so half, 6 to 8, 60%, 8 to 10, 70%, 10 to 12, 80%, 12 to 15, 90%, and in more than 15 minutes, 100%. So of course in certain circumstances you might want to purposely spend more time on these missions, of course. Even if it's only for a slight bit of money, you might find it worth trying to use a stopwatch and timing yourself and go play for like a minute more just to make the mission more worth your time. And then I'll go over the differences that you can make in cash and RP as well. Difficulty gives you more 25% RP and cash bonus for normal, since I believe that's 1.25, and then 1.5 times means 50% more RP, along with 50% more cash. For people who might not know exactly how the point system works when you go over the difficulty. And playing with at least 2 players in your crew will reward a 20% RP bonus to each crew member. And with friends, there's also an RP bonus. Completing with at least 2 players, so you and then another friend, rewards a 10% RP bonus. And it seems to cap at the initial 10%. There's also a 25% RP bonus if you play in free aim. So that's one that even applies if you play yourself. And then the multiplayer cash and RP bonus is the last real category of things we need to do. Multiplayer, completing with at least 2 players in general, or a full lobby even, rewards an RP bonus to all the participants. And then completing with multiple people earns bonus cash. If 2 people are in the mission, you'll receive 10% more. 3 will be 20% more. And then 4 players will be 30% more cash. So I guess that stacks on top of the highest normal payout if you do it solo. So any money from that should be in addition to anything. So the first mission you're seeing gameplay of on this video is going to be the balls to the wall mission. That was the one where we stole the purple shafter as shown earlier in the video. Its RP reward max solo at hard difficulty is 1,200 RP. During the 1.15 update and earlier, you would get $750 with the flat rate. Not sure what difficulty that would be on since the GTA Wiki table doesn't really specify there. But nowadays it will give you 18,300 bucks if you play for the maximum amount of time, which says 16 plus minutes, but I think they said 15 plus minutes. I'm not too sure exactly what that means exactly. If you have to play a second more for 15 minutes minimum for to give you the maximum payout, or if you have to play a whole minute past the 15-minute mark in order to get that. And the job points are at a flat rate as well. It's practically always been that way, given 16. I'm sure of it, unless you're doing it with multiple people, then that, of course, would change. Though job points only really have one use, if I remember correctly, which is an alternate way to be able to turn into a CEO. I mean, VIP. So I believe when that first came out, you had to pay a big sum of money, or I think I heard according to leaks, you could use job points, or I'm not sure if that became true or not. But, to finish with the rest of this mission, the first mission I'm going over, the maximum number of enemies to kill apparently is 11, but I think I noticed like 5 people, so that's like 3 vehicles of 2 people, I'm guessing. However, if you just let them kill you, or you just accidentally die, you won't have to deal with the rest of them, practically. And I'm going to throw in some fun facts in here as well, to keep the commentary nice and to keep the commentary going. But so the name of this mission is apparently a reference to the song "Balls to the Wall" by Accept, which apparently is on V-Rock, specifically for Grand Theft Auto Vice City stories. So it is not something that you'll be able to hear in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. And because Vice City Stories hasn't really got any new versions, the music should be able to be heard on practically any version, unless for some reason the PSP version doesn't have like all the PS2 songs. But that's pretty much all we needed to go over for Balls to the Wall. Now for the second mission, which was already playing throughout the video, is San Andreas Soul, which I'm also going to mention here, which I might try to fit it in the title, that this video is excluding the Lowrider missions. Lamar's Lowrider missions, I feel, are worthy of their own video, in which I discuss them. So San Andreas Seagull, which actually, by the way, let's finish up with Balls to the Wall. I think I missed something. A couple things, actually. You unlock Balls to the Wall at rank 5, so it's going to be your earliest mission. That's not a Lowrider mission. All the Lowrider missions, in fact, which we'll be going more in detail with another video at some point, will all be unlocked at rank 5. And this mission, Balls to the Wall, accepts 1 to 2 players, so you can do it yourself or with a friend or a random. But with San Andreas Seoul, which was the second mission that we went through, you have to be rank 16 or above in order to unlock that mission, and it can be done with 1 to 4 players. All of Lamar's missions in this video are soloable, by the way, which will, I'm pretty sure, never be the case with the Lowrider missions. as said earlier, will be in another video. And the RP reward for hard difficulty apparently once again is 1,200. So I don't know why the rank doesn't, so I don't know why the RP doesn't seem to change with the mission requiring more. With the mission requiring you to have a higher rank. And then the flat rate from 1.15 and below was 2,250, where I'm putting that stuff in to be more completionist. And then $18,960 is what you get for 16 plus minutes as of the 1.16 update and beyond. And by the way, I forgot that I want to mention like what kinds of vehicles are probably going to be most useful in the different missions. For the first mission, I don't really see you needing much of a required vehicle, since you do need to get in a specific vehicle, which is the case with a lot of these Lamar missions. Not to be confused with his Lowrider missions. But I basically just would advise something fast to bring. I brought the armored crewman just in case, since it was one of the couple missions he had where he had to go against enemies, but there's not too many of them for it to be that worth bringing an armored crewman. So I'll just advise something fast, like a thruster or something that's also easy to land. Maybe even the Havoc, stuff like that are nimble and whatnot. But now we're going to go into more detail of San Andreas Seoul. Which, that mission as well, you can just use the same vehicle types I specified for the first mission, since all you really have to do is lose the cops in that one. So it's best to be as fast as you can if you don't care about making money. Which, by the way, this video is mainly going to focus on doing these in the soonest time possible. But it can be very important to play for the whole 16 minutes if you want a full worthy payout rather than not having 10k most likely. And one tip for this mission, San Andreas Seoul, the second clip in this video, you can of course, if you've done all of the Doomsday heists, Acts 1, 2, and 3, I believe you have to host them all, you'll unlock the ability to remove your one level for free. But even still, it's only going to be $400, so if you think $400 of your pay is going to be worth spending towards losing your one level earlier, then definitely feel free to do so, since you can call the cops off of lesser and contact missions, at least for almost all of them. And just some fun facts, the name of this mission is also a reference to a song in the GTA game called California Soul by Ashford and Simpson. And then the song can be heard on the Lowdown, which is in this game, Grand Theft Auto 5. And apparently this mission's events are specified by Franklin. Like he references it in the mission shop, where he goes off on various crimes that Lamar commits, and he references how Lamar boosted gas tankers. So on to our third mission, which by the way we're on clip number 5. I just have to catch up, since with the introduction we had to go more into how the missions worked. So Ticket to Elysium is you have to be rank 18 or above or to unlock the mission to play. Which actually I should mention that if you have a friend that's a level that meets the requirements, they can invite you and you'll be able to play that way. And also if you have a high rank primary character and go to a secondary character, your secondary character should have the missions unlocked. Once again, I'm not sure if that's the case with the Lamar mission, since there's way more story based than the other contact missions, including the dispatch ones from San Andreas Super Sports series. It's 1 to 4 player mission again, if I didn't mention that already. The hard RP, the maximum RP without like any modifiers, is 1,810 RP, which also, by the way, this is one of the best ways to make RP. So if you're looking to make RP, you might want to consider going for contact missions. Other methods are like special cargo and stunt races. By the way, having Arena War recently seems like a really good method. And then the flat rate was the same as the last mission I went over at San Andreas Seoul, being 2,250, despite the 2 more ranks you need in order to unlock the ability to play the mission. And then, as of patch 1.16 and beyond, you'll make $19,080 with the maximum time, which is described as 16 plus minutes specifically on the table. So for this mission, I'm pretty sure I had to steal this tanker. I kind of forget because of the fact that the clip was so long ago. But for this mission, since I'm pretty sure you need to kill a driver, you should probably use something like the weaponized Tampa. A vehicle like the weaponized Tampa is going to be one of your best options in order to be most efficient with this. You could of course also use the armored Kuruma and other vehicles like that if you want the protection. But since you'll be having to go in another vehicle, it really wouldn't be too important to have an armored Kuruma. By the way, I recommend the armored Kuruma over the Duke of Death, which a lot of people might find as the more viable option, considering it would be free for anyone with an Xbox 360 or PS3 version. That's one on to the next generation. Because apparently in the Duke of Death, you're able to be shot in the sides of the vehicle. So that's why I recommend the armored Kuruma, not just to get people spending their money for no necessary reason. There is a good reason for me suggesting the armored Kuruma every time. So of course the Duke of Death is probably not a vehicle I'll really mention. And some tips are, you can use a drive-by weapon with a fast vehicle or use a sniper rifle. And the truck's route's fixed as well, so if you get used to the route, you can start getting faster at the mission. And then evading the cops in the semi-trucks obviously won't be difficult, so you can use a storm drain or train tracks. But as I mentioned earlier, you can do all 3 acts of the Doomsday Heist and unlock the ability to call the cops for free, but either way, regardless, it's really not like any money at all these days in order to call the cops off. And then the truck, if you don't stop in enough time, will stop at the power station, which will result in a large police presence. So definitely make sure to stop in an adequate time. Now, for going down to DOH, which was 2 clips ago, which is unlocked at rank 20, it's 1 to 2 players in this case. The RP for hard difficulty is 1,340 with no modifiers, maxed out. Flat rate before the patch 1.16 update was $3,750. And as of patch 1.16, the actual money you get for 16 minutes is $19,200. And all of the stats aside from RP sticks the same for the 5th mission we'll be going over. Cotton napping, which was 2 clips ago. Aside from RP, which is 1,450 for the mission cotton napping. So let's see if there's anything more I need to go over for the mission before. Didn't really notice too much. Just gotta like steal a tanker for going down on the GOH. And apparently that's the one where you have someone inside the truck cab as passenger trying to shoot you. That one you do not get cops, so you won't need to worry about the tip to save a couple hundred by doing all 3 of the acts for the Doomsday heist, so you don't have to pay any money for evading the cops, which even without that, it's not too costly at all. I'd say go for it regardless, if you're trying to complete these in the fastest time possible. But there's no fun facts really about going down the GOH. I just want to specify any like path in a mission. For the most part, it's probably going to be the same and AK fixed and scripted and whatnot. On the kidnapping, where I said all of the statistics from the previous mission going down the GOH is exactly the same, except for the hard difficulty RP, which has a little bit of an increase. Oh, this one you're basically shooting people up like in the last mission, but you gotta save somebody. So basically all the same vehicles that were useful for the past couple would be useful for going down the GOH. And this mission I'm talking about right now, kidnapping, which was 2 clips ago again. And I do not really see any tips or fun facts or anything. So on to Lost MC RIP, which you have to be ranked 25 for. It's 1 to 2 players. Hard RP 1565 with no modifiers. Oh yeah. Also, from the last 2 missions, the flat rate of money stays the same for the next 2, being $3,750. And then 19,500 past patch 1.16. And it's basically like mixed up with Coke, sort of, which we'll be talking about with Martin Madrazo. Missions like that, you can pretty much just destroy everything in the fastest manner as possible. So any vehicle that can just absolutely decimate people at the fastest time possible will be the best types of vehicles to use. Just with this mission, be careful, because if you don't like trigger a checkpoint and you kill all the Lost MC people, you're gonna fail the mission for whatever given reason. In fact, I think the reason is even mission failed. Like, what reason is that? And using a sniper can be a good way to do it, but I would just recommend using a bunch of like super accurate homing missiles. And finally, no smoking, 30 rank and whatnot. 1 to 4 players, 1,690 RP, and then just the flat rate's the same, and then $19,800 for no smoking. Just so I do not have to rush through the last part I was on, I decided to do another one of these clips, and I'll just end this clip when I'm done. So you need to be ranked 30 for no smoking. It's 1 to 4 players. It's a 1 to 4 player mission. The RP for hard difficulty, no modifiers, maximum 1,690. The flat rate, like I said, for the last 4 missions has been the same, so for the most part it's stayed the same. It was 3,750, and the flat rate's only relevant for 1.15 and below, but for nostalgic purposes I mention it. And then $19,800 is your maximum pay for 16 plus minutes. And I'm pretty sure it's for hard difficulty, but it doesn't specify, but it might be the maximum amount as listed. Now, just to see if I have any fun facts to mention. And in this mission, I definitely suggest that you utilize the Armored Kuruma. Which Armored Kuruma is only a few $100,000, so it's definitely a very good starting vehicle in the game of Grand Theft Auto Online. So, of all missions, I am going to say this is probably the one where you're going to want to use armored crewman once again. But I do not seem to have any. I don't seem to have any fun facts to share about this mission. Most of them didn't have any. If I notice any from GTA Wiki's like trivia, though, I will mention any like fun facts that I learned from the trivia in a bit of my own words. But how would I rate Lamar's missions? Are they even worth it? Honestly, I think the answer would be no. They're not really too worth it. Most of them are involving the use of trailers. And one of Lamar's missions that were different, you had to repo a vehicle for Simeon, so it somewhat was a mission for him, even though it's one given by Lamar. And Awesome Sea Rip was one of those, like, typical fast-paced missions where you can just freely destroy the Awesome Sea, or Awesome Sea Rip, as fast as possible. So there really isn't too much to that mission. Because most in-depth missions were probably the trailer ones. And honestly, I think the cotton-napping mission with Leroy, that might honestly be one of the funner missions if you're looking for more of a challenge. However, I think it was like all the way in San Andreas Seoul, if I remember correctly. That was like my easiest mission and also the most profitable. So if you're looking for the most efficient mission of Lamar's to replay, keep in mind this isn't including his tutorial missions and his Lowrider missions, which the latter will be for another video in this contact missions series. And he's practically the one that gets you started in the game, so it's no doubt that he's the worst mission giver, aside from the Lamar missions. Which I'm pretty sure those will be worth it when the time comes for me to do that video. So I definitely would recommend San Andreas Seoul over all the missions. That's probably the most efficient one to replay of Lamar's missions. If his missions only are ever double money RP for these ones, not Lamar missions. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully any of you learned something. Hope you enjoyed.